Worst.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Worst Millennials. In studio with Kaz, it's Damon.
Hello.
Hey, before we get started, I want to say thank you everybody who's been listening. The show has been doing wonderful. I really appreciate all the support and everyone who's been listening to the show. Make sure you go to our Patreon account, patreon.com/worstmillennials and patreon.com/podbros. If you don't trust me with the money, you can pledge there. There's a tier system for both sites, both links. You can find the Worst Millennials Patreon also on the main page on podbros.com. Also, speaking of podbros.com, scroll to the bottom of the homepage on podbros.com, click that Amazon banner, and we get a little bit of a kickback when you do your shopping. So help us out, support however you can. We appreciate it very much. So Kaz and I wanted to recap our last episode. It's kind of weird that it was our last episode because we recorded that before the 2 episodes prior to that.
Yeah. There was a reason we didn't put it out when we, wanted to.
Yeah, there are some things that were happening in the world, and we felt like it wasn't the best time to put that episode out. But when you go back and listen to it, it's not offensive at all.
No,
it just felt weird to be glorifying.
I feel like I forgot exactly how morbid we got with it.
Yeah.
And we talked it up so much that I was like, oh no, this is going to be bad. But it wasn't at all, really.
No, it was pretty tame. Honestly,
it was a great episode.
It was probably one of the more tame episodes that we've done.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so we wanted to kind of recap. We talked about the World Cup, and then how me looking up a baseball player because Lino blew my mind and told me that there's a ton of Dutch baseball players.
Lino.
I meant to look up Andrew something. I don't know his last name.
Jones?
I think it was Andrew Jones.
Yeah.
And I ended up just typing in, for whatever reason, Andrew Cunanan. Because for whatever reason that was in my head. And we started talking about how Andrew Cunanan might be the GOAT serial killer because of the numbers he put up.
In a short period of time.
8 weeks.
Yeah, it's tremendous numbers.
Yeah, 8 weeks. It's pretty insane. But then, I kind of teased it. Different artwork. I photoshopped my face onto Andrew Cunanan's face. We had the Mount Rushmore. We asked people who are the greatest serial killers. And, of course, people are really into serial killers and doing their research and watching documentaries, reading the books. And people started naming off people I've never heard of. Like HH Holmes, I have no clue who he was. But hearing that there was a serial killer who actually booby-trapped his house like the fucking Jigsaw killer from the movies blew my mind.
And this was in the 1800s?
Yeah.
Yeah, he put up astronomical numbers, right?
Yeah, he killed hundreds of people.
I think
because there's a hotel where all these people would just go missing, and then there was talk that wasn't even an actual hotel; it was just a place he was letting people stay, and they would just turn up missing or dead.
Yeah, and it's like you go that far to booby trap your home. I mean, what are you doing with the bodies?
I have no clue. That's the part that's always gets fucked up for me with the killers because they all do something all wildly different, I find, with the bodies.
Some people eat them. Some people, fuck them. I hate to say it.
I hate to laugh.
That's the worst part of, being is the thrill the kill or is the thrill after the kill and the body is dead? What do you do with it then?
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
And it's even crazier, too. You see all these guys and women that do this, and some of the interviews you watch, they seem like well-adjusted people, well-spoken,
oh yeah,
very polite. Wow, this person is a monster, a cold-blooded killer.
Like Jeff Dahmer, for instance, was, trying to drill into skulls while the people were still alive and, fucked up off of whatever he gave them. And poured hydrochloric acid or whatever he had into the skull to make them a sex zombie. And that was his thing. It's what he wanted to do. He loved the dark meat, by the way. Love black guys.
Well, I'm glad that my experimental phase in college didn't happen in the 70s.
Yeah.
Moving on from Jeffrey Dahmer liking to get blacked, let's talk about another thing we were talking about on the ride here, music. We're talking about music. This is a very, very jarring change of topic, but
it is.
We were listening to. I still have burned CDs in my Honda because I don't feel like getting a radio installed because I don't feel like dealing with the aux cord and all that shit, and I don't feel like paying to do it. So I still have CDs burned from me or burn them myself.
I got to burn you those CDs. I got it coming. I burned one.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
Cool. So we were listening to one of the CDs that has Corbin on it, formerly known as Spooky Black. And as we got out the car to walk into the studio, Cass said that he thinks that Corbin's album, Mourn, or was it Ice Boy? Mourn. It's Mourn, right?
Yeah.
Mourn would age like a fine wine. And we started thinking, what are the future generations? What are our kids? What are they going to be listening to?
Yeah, it's weird to think.
Are they going to listen to alien music?
Well, that's what I think our parents thought we might be listening to now. And I guess you can look at EDM as kind of that. But I go back to the point of like when I was a kid, but I always kind of liked my parents' musical tastes. I didn't like hate it. But
what were some of the things that your parents were listening to?
Well, my mom's side of the family was more of, Guns N' Roses, Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains, Soundgarden, that type of shit, the grunge stuff, the 80s hair metal. My dad's side was more classic rock, Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, fucking Dio, Jethro Tull, all that shit. But yeah, I got kind of both worlds of it, and I didn't like the classic rock stuff. I never have. I always went towards the mom side of the family.
So, I would say for my parents,
Michael Jackson and Prince too were my mom's. I mean, growing up in,
so our moms are the same age, if I recall correctly, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
So, Michael Jackson and Prince, Whitney Houston on my mom's side.
Yeah.
My mom also, according to my brother, had a Motley Crue tape. She really liked the song "Too Young to Fall in Love." She also likes a lot of hip hop. She still listens to hip hop to this day. She actually, a couple years ago, I was riding with her somewhere, maybe to get food, and she had the Games, the Jesus Piece album in her car, in the Honda that I got from her, actually.
It's his best album.
Yeah, Jesus Piece is tremendous. And my dad, he listens to more, jazz or more, I don't even know what to describe the kind of music. I guess R&B and jazz mostly.
See, yeah, my dad wasn't a big music guy. I got all my musical influence growing up from my mom.
Same
like
here.
Everything. Yep. Like my dad wasn't a big music guy, but I can remember and recall like driving in the car with him. He was a big Motown guy. Loved it.
Yeah, my dad liked Motown too. It's funny that our dads have the more, I guess, like the older taste in music, and our moms, I have more in common with my mom as far as music goes.
I really have nothing in common with music with my dad. Granted, I like Motown; it's good stuff, but as far as that's about it.
And I would even go so far as to say that even though I don't see my mom's side of the family that much, I find that they had the greatest influence on my musical influences.
Oh, that absolutely.
I think because they supported the fact that I liked rock music or into rock music. They like rock music too, different kinds, especially my mom's sister, my auntie Melba. She was told me about like Lenny Kravitz and Living Color, all these different kinds of.
That's another one my mom loved, Lenny.
Oh yeah, Lenny
he fucks.
He really does fuck.
Yeah, he really probably does fuck.
He probably still fucks, dude. I saw him in Memphis a couple years ago.
He doesn't
still
age,
got it, man. No, dude, black toe and crack.
He's got to be 50.
Gotta be,
if not older.
Because his daughter, he wrote a song about her on one of his first albums, and that was like 1990, and she was already like 3 years old.
Yeah, absolutely. But going back to what you said with your mom's side of the family, same exact thing with mine. Like both my mom's sisters. The one was a big hair metal, Skid Row, Motley Crue, Poison, but also the grunge stuff, Candlebox, all that shit. Her other sister was more into new wave type shit. The Cure, Psychedelic Furs, Typo Negative, she loved. So I kind of got that vibe from her, which was sweet.
My mom actually made fun of me because I burned the CD back around when Vice City came out, and this is also around the time we first got cable internet, and I really started digging 80s
cable
music.
Internet, groundbreaking.
Cable internet 16 years ago.
Yes.
16? Yeah, 16. Wasn't Vice City come out 01? 02?
Oh, at least.
So I remember burning the CD with Squeeze, the Tempted by Fruit of Another track, and then the track after that was Love My Way by the Psychedelic Furs, and she goes, you like weird stuff, because I really started liking
you really like
music.
that stuff.
I do. And
New wave, so do I. It's
and
great.
then that's how I got into all the synth wave and retro stuff and Outrun, all the different names, or Dream Pop, whatever you want to call it. So like Gunship and
I got
Comtrues.
I got the new wave, that type of vibe from my mom's other sister, which was cool. It was a different style of shit that I got to, listen to back then and get influenced by.
So I don't know how we would influence the younger people.
I don't think we do.
I don't think so.
I think
they
that's
just like
dead
what they
art.
like. Yeah. I get looked at, and these are even people who are only a couple years younger than me. They look at me weird at work when I mention that I like something. They look at me like I'm crazy because they all like EDM and shit. Mm-hmm. They're like, you don't know who Avicii is? Because one of my coworkers had no clue who Avicii was when he died. And I have no clue. I know. I know who Avicii is, but it's like all these electronic groups and artists. I know Bass Nectar. I know like Steve Aoki and David Guetta. I don't know how you say it correctly. Gato.
I don't know. Yeah, the EDM stuff nowadays, like the top 40 EDM stuff, is just trash. I mean, it's not my cup of tea.
No.
There is electronic music out there that I enjoy. Different shit like Apex Twin or Square Pusher or I don't know. I can't think off the top of my head right now, but even Bass Nectar's old stuff's pretty good.
Yeah, I guess like I still call it techno. That's how I feel like, shit, am I really dating myself? Because I'm like Daft Punk and fucking Dirty Vegas. You guys listen to that? You guys listen to house music?
Benga and like Rusko, like before dubstep became mainstream, like that shit's really good.
My first experiences with listening
Alex
to dubstep
Perez
was when I first met you, which is like 8 years ago now, when you were DJing.
Yeah, I feel like when dubstep first hit, it wasn't what it was now. Even the Skrillex stuff it was all right. It was different, but even before him, like, it wasn't like super poppy. It was different. Like, if anyone cares to go and check out like a Benga, Benga, or Rusko, like that old stuff's pretty sweet. It's different. It's more minimalistic and it's more minimalistic and not as upfront and powerful like Skrillex and all those dudes. Yeah. It's nothing like that. It's the wah wah wah, but more tamed and stuff. It's more melodic and shit.
I think that's what I'm finding myself starting to like more as far as electronic music goes. I like more mellow electronic music.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't want to spaz out like I just took a fucking triple hit of Molly or something.
Like I went to Demph a couple of years back, got in for free. Chick from Florida that I knew was working it and ended up going. It was pretty sweet. And I, didn't know what I was in for because it'd been so long since I'd been to that. But there was a lot of DJs that were playing some good stuff. It wasn't like, Demph is like different than a lot of other EDM festivals, I feel. It's more techno based around here in Detroit, which is sweet. But yeah, it was pretty cool. Snoop Dogg played like a fucking bar set. Literally, I could have went on stage and did what Snoop Dogg did. It was just cool seeing Snoop Dogg up there, you know what I mean?
Just chilling at the bar, just rapping.
He didn't even rap. He just DJ'd. He just played like top 40 stuff and the crowd ate it up. Like I was DJing at fucking front row. That's what he did.
Wow.
Swear to God.
That's awesome.
All he did. Yeah, it was sweet.
Yeah, man.
But back to the question.
I
Will the
don't
generation...
I don't think we're influenced, because I look at shit that, like, my little sister listens to. You know, she's 18. I guess she would be on the older end of the generation below us.
18, yeah.
I'm just like, what is
What
this
is your
shit?
sister like?
She likes hip hop and R&B. I think she likes Cardi B and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But there's some other stuff that I'll see her post about on Facebook. What the fuck is this? I don't understand this. Or you see the teenagers that like, what's her name? Bad Barbie.
The Cash Me Outside chick.
Yeah. She has some great production, but I just feel weird listening to a child talk about how she's like partying all the time and gonna fuck people up. It's just very odd.
Yeah.
But I find that a lot of kids like that because it's someone that's their age.
And that's fine.
That.
I've never discriminated against anybody liking anything. If it's good and you like it, hey, by all means. Like, I like some probably weird shit like, whoa, really? But if it's a good song, I fucking like the song. That's that. I don't care what it is. It could be like a top 40 EDM song that came out tomorrow, and I was like, wow, that was pretty catchy. I like that.
Or like Lil Peep. I liked some Lil Peep stuff. It felt weird because he was so much younger, and I knew that he was geared towards the generation below us because he was he even 20 when he died?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, he's a fucking baby. He was born in like 1998.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this production is good, and you know, some of the vocals are good, but I also don't want to find myself like identifying with this.
See, like rap and shit nowadays is hard for me to get into. I mean, I respect a lot of the stuff out there and the people who do it, like Migos, and you know, Gucci Mane was a big influence on all these guys, but it's hard for me to get into it anymore. I try, like, I'm more of a hip hop boom bap type of dude. I've always liked that more. Like, I just checked out J. Cole's new album. I don't know if you did.
I listened to a couple tracks, but nothing really grabbed me.
Yeah, I wasn't really feeling it. Nothing, because I like J. Cole, to be honest. But
I have a running gag that I've been saying for the last couple of weeks. Every time someone brings up J. Cole, if I wanted to listen to a light-skinned black guy yell about college and women, I would just run back an episode of Worst Millennials.
Yeah, but that's a guy who gets a lot of shit, J. Cole.
I think...
And he sold a lot of albums.
He sold a lot of records with no features.
Yeah.
And then I think he was...
Like, oh, he's boring.
I think there's a lot of great jokes about it. I think a lot of it is just... I don't know. He's technically good, but something doesn't really grab me.
He sticks to his shit. He doesn't like do the Drake thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
When Drake first started, it was like, wow, this is like kind of newish. This is really catchy. This is like
I miss
good
the
stuff.
old Drake.
But then, yeah, exactly. And now Drake's like trying to keep up with the times, and it's like, and just do your thing.
He's trying to be a tough guy all the time.
Yeah.
You see him get into that argument with Kendrick Perkins.
I didn't.
He got into.
I heard about it, but he
got into an argument with Kendrick Perkins, and you can hear him say like, "We don't play that shit. I never said that shit," something like that. He was like trying to act like a tough guy to Kendrick Perkins. Well, Drake is, I believe, at least according to one of his songs, he's a pretty tall guy. He's like 6'1", but
I mean, I don't know if Drake can throw them hands. I don't know, but I
respect him as an
artist.
Hate to say as a man, but I have a feeling that someone who was a child actor that grew up in a gated community never really had to throw hands too much.
Yeah.
Like, if someone, I say, like, if we got into a fight, what could you do to me? Like, Drake, if we got into a fight, you know what he'd do to me? He'd go get security. He'd go get a security team of a bunch of 6'5", like, bodybuilders, and they would just kick the shit out of me.
It's like, I don't like the, is that Lino probably?
Yeah. Come in. Oh, we gotta run in. Yes.
Sweet. We can get his take on some of this.
Yeah, Lino, welcome to the chair. Welcome to the studio.
Evening, fellas.
What was I gonna say? The video of Drake at the nightclub when he like running in past the security guards is hilarious to me. You ever see that?
No.
He's like taking off like his watch, and you never seen that?
No.
Oh, it's tremendous.
Is he trying to sneak past them?
No, he like looks like he's all pissed off, like he's about to run in the club and like fuck someone up or something.
Oh my god.
Oh, you gotta find it.
We were talking about how Drake is trying to have this persona of being a tough guy,
I feel like we've had this episode before about Drake.
Oh, because of the
Couple
Kendrick
years ago.
Perkins incident?
Yeah, I brought that up.
Yeah.
It's just like Drake, you're not going to fuck with Kendrick Perkins. I'm sorry,
no.
man. He's a nearly 7 foot tall man. He is probably 280 pounds.
Yeah, I didn't realize how young he was either. He's only like 32 right now.
Yeah.
So he's still like in his physical prime.
Yeah.
I just feel like he's been around for forever, but he's still relatively young.
I'd bet everything in my bank account, which isn't a lot, on Kendrick Perkins if he got into a fight with Drake.
I don't know if you saw this meme on Twitter, but there was a before and after of Drake. One said before, and he was at the Raptors game, and then the after was him in the wheelchair on Degrassi.
That's looking
Before and after his fight with Kendrick Perkins.
It's just so weird that like Drake, when I first heard his music, it's sampling Peter, Paul, and John and shit.
Yeah.
If you agree.
That's what
And
I
then-
mean. Like,
and
he
now-
was good.
And now he's like, oh, I might have a gun on me. You never know. Like,
Stupid.
Okay.
That's why I respect J. Cole with what he does. He just sticks to his stuff.
Yeah.
He never change it.
I guess.
And I guess change is good if you want to, but
don't
don't
go
change
off-
because you think you have to change.
Yeah.
Change because you want to do something experimental or something and something
Or
like that.
don't go completely off the beaten path.
Yeah.
Again, where Drake was a rapper, singer, and now he's like like a fucking tracks is like look alive. Like, okay, Aubrey.
Kanye's changed a lot, though. What do you guys feel about how Kanye's evolved through the years?
To
I mean,
now,
I'm not talking about like this week, but like, you know,
slavery never happened, right?
his albums
Kanye's
I'm
on.
talking about.
I get what Kanye's doing. I'm not stupid. He's about to put an album out.
Oh, the marketing ploy? Oh, yeah.
Oh,
No,
yeah. All it
he's such a
is.
worker.
In the professional wrestling industry,
He
they call
is.
that working the
He's
marks.
working
Yep,
it.
exactly.
He's
I
working
mean,
the marks.
it's a bad kind of heat. Don't get me wrong, but
It's the heat that sells, brother.
exactly
That's all that
for
matters.
good, for better,
to
for
him.
worse. It's
Yep.
like that wrestler that has the King of Black Women shirt. Like
Is that really Ember Moon's boyfriend?
fiance.
Oh boy.
I just watched a video of him propose to her in a wrestling ring. And so, hey man, if it gets people talking, even if for good or for worse, you saw that Colby Covington kid in UFC. He was like a total nice, humble wrestler dude, kind of boring. And he started talking shit really badly, by the way. But now he's in a fucking interim title fight in Chicago in the summer. So, you know, you gotta crack some eggs to make some omelets, even if it's at the expense of, you know, like someone else's dinner, I guess. That's a bad analogy, but I'm trying to
Pretty
say
good. Make that a shirt.
Yeah,
What was that again?
that was a good one for coming up with it on the fly. It made sense.
you have to crack some eggs to make an omelet, even if it's at the expense of someone else's dinner.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kanye has evolved quite a bit, you know, kind of very sample heavy. I mean,
Yeah,
he still relies on the samples.
Kanye's
but-
a good example of evolving. Like, I'll be honest, I when he first came out, I didn't like the College Dropout at all. I wasn't feeling it. It took the next album for me to be like, whoa, this is amazing.
We've talked about this. I feel like we've talked about this on the show as well. You like Late Registration.
Oh, absolutely.
Which I think a lot of people like Late Registration. I like all this shit. Honestly.
So do I.
808s and Heartbreaks like on the bottom of the list for me, I think.
You want
I
to
still
rank
think it's
Kanye's
really
albums
good.
right now?
It's still good though.
Okay.
Can we pull them up? Do we know them all?
Because I know I will probably miss one.
College Dropout, Late Registration, Graduation, 808s and Heartbreak, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Ass Fantasy, Yeezus.
Jesus.
Is that all of
Saint
them?
or Pablo. Saint Pablo.
Yeah.
Is that all of them?
I feel like we're missing one.
So do I.
You have to look it up.
Yeah.
College Dropout, Late Registration, Graduation. I feel like there's one in there that we just kind of skipped over.
I feel like there's one in between My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy and Yeezus.
Good Friday doesn't count if that's what we're thinking we're missing.
I was thinking of the one with Jay-Z. Because
Watch the
that was
Throne.
Watch the Throne was in between the two.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh yeah.
If you want to count that.
If you want to count those ones, I wouldn't count those ones. I'm just
No.
talking solo.
Yeah, it's like how I realized that the Dynasty record doesn't actually count for Jay-Z's album count. That's just a compilation album. I thought it was a Jay-Z album because he's on every fucking song.
Right.
Well, Wikipedia has his studio albums: College Dropout, Late Registration, Graduation, 808s and Heartbreaks, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, Yeezus, The Life of Pablo. So yeah, that would be 1, 2. Oh shit! God damn it!
you fuck it up over there, Cass.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 albums.
7. Okay, so
if you want to rank them from worst to best or best to worst.
so Late Registration, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, College Dropout, Graduation.
Wow, number 4 on your list.
Life of Pablo. What are the other ones I'm missing?
You're just missing Yeezus.
808's Heartbreak. Then Yeezus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Lino?
Man, I'd go Late Registration 1. I overplayed it when it came out, but I think enough time has passed to where I like it again. Graduation 2. I said College Dropout 1, right?
No, you said Late Registration 1.
Late College Dropout 3. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy 4. Yeezus 5. 808s and Heartbreak 6. Which one am I missing though?
Life of Pablo.
Yeah. Life of Pablo
would be last.
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think I still need more time to like warm up to it. It's kind of like Kaz said earlier, like how you weren't feeling the first one at first, and then like it took the second one.
Yeah,
that's kind of how it is with a lot of his music for me too. Because I didn't like Yeezus at first, and then like after a couple years, the more I got used to it, the more I liked it.
Now, I will say, I know people thinking, okay, Damon must hate Yeezus. I actually really like Yeezus. I like all of Kanye's work. I like Yeezus. It has a different place in my heart. Actually, you know what? I would probably put Yeezus over 808s and Heartbreak now that I think about it. Even though, again, I still like 808s and Heartbreak. I like Yeezus because I like a lot of, like industrial type shit. It had a lot of elements in it of stuff that I like. And I could see that's why, maybe more traditional hip hop people might not like it.
Yeah.
But I think if you think of just from a pure production standpoint, it's got some tremendous shit on there.
Mm-hmm.
But, it to each their own. Some people that listen to Kanye West probably won't listen to a lot of the same shit that I listen to. There's people listen to Kanye West that probably only solely listen to like hip hop and R&B.
Mm-hmm.
There's not too many, black kids in Chicago that listening to retro wave and death metal when they're at work. So
yeah, this is also listing Love Everyone is going to be the name of his new album on Wikipedia. This is what it's listing.
Did you see the album cover?
It's supposed to be a tribute to his mom, but I haven't actually seen the artwork.
It's the doctor that did the surgery on his mom. It's just his picture.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then the one with Kid Cudi. I wonder how Kid Cudi's feeling about all this, because him and Kid Cudi are coming out with an album like a week later.
Yeah, June 8th.
Kids See Ghosts, which I'm pretty pumped to hear that one.
Yeah.
Pretty pumped to hear both of them.
I haven't.
It took me, not to cut you off. When I first listened to Life of Pablo, I was like, eh. But then I went back and I was like, this is pretty good.
I remember I told you the story. We were out hanging out one night and it was snowing and I was listening to Real Friends and I was driving down the street, like kind of near the same street because the chick that I used to hook up with, whatever, lived very close to me. And I was like driving down the street and I kind of like longingly looked down the street as I was driving by and got all sad while Real Friends is playing. Oh man, the Kaz goes, that's a music video right there.
Oh, yeah.
And it's snowing and shit. The winter in Michigan.
Oh, yeah.
Like, oh man, it's so sad.
Like, no matter what Kanye says or does, whatever you feel about his political views or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I always do get pretty pumped when he's about to put an album out. And I always have.
Oh yeah. I'm always curious to see what's gonna happen. I think a lot of it too is because I'm trying to get that feeling I got when I was in 11th grade when Late Registration came out, and I was listening to it literally everywhere I went. This is the year I didn't play football, so I was going to football games. Me and my friend Anita were listening to her Explorer. I'm listening to it on my Walkman at the house.
Mm-hmm.
I'm listening to it, when I'm fucking working out in the basement. Like, I was listening to it all the time. It's something about that feeling you first get when you listen to some shit and you're realizing right away, like not the third or fourth or fifth listen to, like the first time you listen to it, you realize like this shit is incredible. I don't really comprehend what I'm hearing right now.
Yeah, that's awesome. I was kind of the same way with Graduation. Not that it's not my favorite album from Kanye, but at the time, this was like the tail end of me buying CDs. And
Also,
I had just gotten my license at the time, so like I was listening to it so often.
That came out right when we were going into college too.
Yeah. It was actually like my first week of college, because I remember that and Curtis came out on the same day.
Yeah.
And at the dorm that I was living at, like everybody was just bumping Kanye all day.
Oh yeah.
Like he just murdered 50 Cent when that day when they both came out
That
because
was
they were
the
like
final
competing
nail
with
in
each other.
I think
50s coffin.
I think that's part of why those first 3 albums are so endearing to me, because they came out in like 3 important parts of my life.
Mm-hmm.
So College Dropout, I first started high school, and then Late Registration kind of towards the end, and Graduation as I had just left high school and went to college. Like it's, I don't know, something with that sound always kind of stuck with me. Maybe that's why I'm always like eagerly anticipating like Kanye's records. Is this gonna make me feel how I felt? Which of course can make some people feel kind of jaded when they listen to an artist they like, because I've been waiting to try to get that feeling back from Eminem for about fucking 15 years.
Yeah, but
that's how I feel about wrestling. When I like look forward to a wrestling show and then I watch it and I'm like, I'm so jaded now.
Yeah, but going back to like how Drake, you know, has changed with the times, but he's trying to do what's trendy. You know, Kanye has changed, but more experimental. Like you said, like a Yeezus, not my favorite album by Kanye, but very much more experimental, I feel. And I applaud him for that.
808s and Heartbreaks, I remember everyone was kind of ragging on
Yeah,
him for
that one
that.
too.
And then everyone was using fucking auto-tune in their
Yeah.
records after that. How weird is that?
I just love the circus leading up to it. Like, did you guys see Kanye on TMZ this week?
Yeah, I
That
saw
was
part
wild.
of that. That was crazy. And I also thought that was a skit. So I kind of skipped past it. I'm like, oh, this is a skit. Like, this can't be real. There's no way this is real. That's also just knowing I shouldn't say knowing so much, but, you know, having a decent grasp of the inner workings of the entertainment industry and knowing how everyone's trying to get an angle, everyone's trying to drum up publicity.
It's wrestling.
It is.
Yes,
wrestling.
everything's pro wrestling, basically.
Yeah, wrestling fans get it because this is normal to us.
Oh,
like
yeah, I
the
get
people who
exactly
aren't
what you
wrestling fans, like this is tripping them out, but we know.
Yeah.
Like my mom called me, do you hear what Kanye said? I'm like, yeah, I heard what he said. It's a work, Mom.
Yeah. I mean, again, part of it does make me feel a little uncomfortable.
Well, what he's saying, you know,
Yeah.
to the black generation is like, what, dude? Like,
yeah,
what the fuck are you saying?
It definitely is getting people riled up, but sure as shit, man, people are going to be buying that fucking record when it comes out.
It might break fucking records.
It's kind of wild. I love everyone, and it's the doctor that botched the surgery that killed his mom.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't see the
Wow.
album artwork.
Wow, that's fucking crazy.
And I guess he like reached out to that. Was it a girl or a guy?
It was a guy.
And the dude was like, please don't use this. Like, there has to be some legal shit. He can't just use that, can he? Or can he?
Maybe he gave him some cash for it.
Yeah,
I don't
maybe.
know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Love everyone. I mean, I'm sure that's not going to do any favors for his career.
Right.
No.
Oh, man.
But I think he's already, I don't know this for sure. I thought I read that he had already lost his license. The doctor's
Because
got
of
his
that?
own. Yeah, I think it was because of that. The doctor's got his own Wikipedia page.
Wow.
So, yeah. That's,
Man. Oh, that.
I can't remember the guy's name right now. But
Yeah. I do feel bad for that guy, as just that one awful thing that happened, and then you basically you're finished. Your
yeah,
life is
because
ruined.
everybody knows.
Yeah.
Like, you never want to see that happen to anybody, but if that were to happen to just like a regular person, like his career goes on, and like, yeah, it sucks he made this mistake, but you know, it
It's
doesn't
like
mean that,
the one guy, the Cubs game. What's his name?
oh, Steve Bartman,
yeah, that guy. You remember that guy? You ever watch that documentary? That guy, that fucked that dude's life up.
Dude.
Just because he tried to catch a foul ball.
They even invited him back to Chicago, like when the Cubs finally won the World Series, and he
Yeah.
still didn't want anything to do with it.
No.
Man, that's crazy.
Imagine your life being ruined because you went to a baseball game and tried to catch a foul ball.
Well, imagine your life being
Because
ruined
Chicago Cubs fans are fucking freaks.
Yeah.
because they took a game that seriously where it affected this man's life.
Yeah.
The Chicago Cubs ended up going on to win a World Series. They can go and just play another game. It's
And
not
that-
going to hurt them too much.
And that
This guy's life is like fucked up because of one
Oh,
thing
yeah.
in the hundreds and thousands of games that have ever been played in that stadium.
Yep.
That one moment just like fuck this whole guy up.
And that wasn't the play that lost that series for them. They blew it the next game.
I think they played 2 games after that.
Was it 2?
It wasn't the last game. I know that
No,
for sure.
no, not at all.
But again, everything harkens back to professional wrestling. Everything has to have some sort of storyline. So that is always the storyline
Right.
coming out of it.
And I
The
also
revisionist
blame
history.
outlets like, on Sports Center and shit, like really drumming that shit up, to get views. Like, oh, they keep showing it like this poor guy, like, man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that's the outlets are so good at painting a narrative of things that don't really exist.
Oh, yeah.
For years I thought the Miracle on Ice, I thought that was the gold medal game.
Yeah,
they had to play another game after
right.
that.
Yeah, it didn't even win them the gold medal.
They just beat the Russians. That was
Right.
it, which is a big feat. Don't get me wrong, but growing up my entire life, I thought that they fucking won the gold medal
So
on
did
that.
I.
And
Yeah,
then they made a movie about it with Kurt Russell. And I think, okay, yeah. And then it's like, no, they just had to play another game after that.
Right. There's a lot of, especially with sports, there's a lot of games like that. Like Kirk Gibson's home run where he went up there with one leg. That was in game 1. They still played like the entire series after that.
Exactly.
But they like to make it
If
seem
that
like
would've been
Kirk
like
Gibson won the World
walk-off.
Series.
Right. At
because
a
of that.
walk-off home run with one leg. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like the Mandela effect. But oh yeah, Gibby Coley hit a home run with one leg.
Yeah, they make you think that was Game 7 of the World Series. Dennis Eckersley, wasn't he the pitcher?
Yeah,
that
Eckersley.
Blue Jays home run in the early '90s in the World Series, was that to win it?
Yeah,
I think that was
Was that
Joe,
when it-
Joe
okay.
Carter. Yeah.
that was
Okay,
a
I
walk-off.
okay. I didn't know if that was just oh yeah, remember Joe Carter hit that bomb and then won the
Right.
game.
But I feel like the Joe Carter home run is it's far more significant when you think about it because it won the series.
Oh,
but the
yeah.
Gibson home run gets talked about more.
Yeah, and I don't know why.
I think it's because it was Los Angeles. Like, kind of like we said earlier with the Cubs with Bartman. I feel like if that would have happened in Milwaukee, we probably it wouldn't be as big of a deal as it is.
I also
Yeah, and
find
it was
it
like
too
Kurt
because
Gibson, like, he
where
was-
we're from, that picture gets painted. It's almost been embellished in our brains to the point of myth, legend that this happened. This is how we won the World Series in '84, and I don't know if they're really doing that up in Toronto like that.
Right.
So was that Toronto, right?
Toronto,
Yeah,
Joe
okay.
Carter, yeah.
So I remember kind of just glossing over it when I was watching some highlight tape when I was a kid. I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
But then I'm thinking, Kirk Gibson fucking did it for the Detroit Tigers.
Right.
It's so much cooler. So yeah, it's crazy how much someone just keeps saying the same thing over and over and over again to you until you believe it. Yeah. Media is a powerful tool, Kanye.
That it is.
Guess this all kind of comes full circle, eh?
It truly does.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it for this episode of Worst Millennials. Anything in closing, fellas?
I got nothing.
Everybody enjoy your Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, there you go.
Enjoy your Cinco de Mayo. There's a good chance this won't be up by Cinco de Mayo, but
Enjoy your Flag Day in June.
That's the rate I'm going, I'm holding on to episodes for 2 months. All right. Well, we have to talk about some fake fighting. So TTYL.